The air in the chamber hung heavy, thick with a sense of reverence and an almost palpable desperation. Before him, resting on a pedestal, was not merely an object, but a shattered monument. Darth Vader's helmet, charred and twisted, a grim visage salvaged from the funeral pyre on Endor. Its once gleaming black surface was now a mottled ruin, a testament to fire and the final fiery act of redemption. Yet, for the young man kneeling before it, this was no mere memento of a bygone era. For Kylo Ren, this was a holy relic, a direct, unfiltered line to the grandfather he idolized. And he would speak to it. In those hushed moments, Kylo's voice, often filled with rage and command, softened into a plea, a whisper of longing and ambition. He would lean in, as if straining to hear a silent reply from the melted, unseeing eyes of the mask. "Show me the power of the darkness," he would implore, his words hanging in the stillness, echoing his fervent belief that he was communing with the very spirit of Darth Vader. This act, this profound and utterly twisted ancestor worship, stands as one of the most powerful and unsettling visual symbols within the sequel trilogy. It's a stark illustration of how the dark side persona of Anakin Skywalker, the fearsome Darth Vader, could continue to inspire and manipulate a new generation long after his redemption and his death. Let's pause for a moment and consider the weight of this object. The helmet, as it lay on Endor, was meant to be a symbol of Vader's definitive end, his final, selfless return to the light. Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi Knight, had perished in his son's arms, finding peace and forgiveness. His dark mechanical shell was offered to the flames, a cleansing fire meant to signify the breaking of the cycle, the triumph of light. But Kylo Ren, born Ben Solo, saw none of that. He didn't see the redeemed Anakin Skywalker, the grandfather who had sacrificed himself to save his son. Instead, he fixated on the legend, the myth, the terrifying figure of Darth Vader. He saw power, unwavering resolve, and a legacy untainted by sentimentality. The charred helmet, then, became a potent symbol not of redemption, but of enduring, unyielding power, a shattered icon that, in Kylo's mind, still pulsed with the raw might of the dark side. His communion with the helmet was a desperate attempt to bridge the gap between his own struggles and the seemingly effortless power he perceived in Vader. Kylo was constantly torn, the light a persistent whisper in his ear. He sought the helmet's guidance to extinguish that whisper, to fully embrace the darkness, believing that only through this path could he achieve the strength and clarity he so desperately craved. He believed Vader, through this relic, held the key, the secret to true power. But was he truly communing with Vader's spirit? Or was he perhaps being manipulated by an even older, more insidious force, whispering through the echoes of his own desires? The narrative strongly suggests the latter, highlighting how Kylo's desperate search for validation and power left him vulnerable. The helmet, rather than offering true guidance, became a conduit for his own fears and ambitions, amplified by external forces that sought to exploit his internal conflict. It was a reflection of his own obsession, a mirror showing him what he wanted to see, rather than a genuine connection to his grandfather's true redeemed spirit. This dynamic powerfully underlines the dangerous, corrupting nature of Vader's dark side legacy. Despite Anakin's ultimate redemption, the specter of Darth Vader, the symbol of terror and control, persisted. It wasn't the heroic father who saved his son, but the fearsome Sith Lord who commanded an empire. This selective interpretation of history, this embrace of the darker narrative, illustrates how quickly even a redeemed past can be twisted to serve a new agenda, to corrupt a new generation. Kylo Ren's journey, spurred on by his devotion to this charred relic, became a tragic pursuit of a power that was ultimately hollow. He sought to inherit a strength that was rooted in pain and loss, rather than understanding the path of balance and selflessness that his grandfather eventually found. The helmet represented a commitment to a dark path that had, ironically, almost destroyed Anakin Skywalker. and it nearly destroyed Kylo Ren, too. In the end, this charred helmet serves as a profound cautionary tale. It shows us how potent symbols can be, how they can shape perception, and how inherited legacies, particularly those with a duality as profound as Darth Vader's, can be selectively interpreted to devastating effect. It reminds us that embracing only one part of a complex history, especially the darker, more alluring parts, can lead to a dangerous, self-destructive path. Kylo Ren's journey, spurred on by his devotion to this charred relic, became a tragic pursuit of a power that was ultimately hollow. He sought to inherit a strength that was rooted in pain and loss, rather than understanding the path of balance and selflessness that his grandfather eventually found. The helmet represented a commitment to a dark path that had, ironically, almost destroyed Anakin Skywalker, and it nearly destroyed Kylo Ren, too. In the end, this charred helmet serves as a profound cautionary tale. It shows us how potent symbols can be, how they can shape perception, and how inherited legacies, particularly those with a duality as profound as Darth Vader's, can be selectively interpreted to devastating effect. It reminds us that embracing only one part of a complex history, especially the darker, more alluring parts, can lead to a dangerous, self-destructive path. Kylo Ren's dark communion with Vader's charred helmet wasn't just a fascinating character detail. It was a powerful statement about the lingering shadows of history and the choices we make about which parts of that history we choose to carry forward. What are your thoughts on Kylo Ren's fixation with Vader's helmet? Do you think it was a true communion or a powerful symbol of manipulation? Share your insights in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this reflection, please consider subscribing for more journeys into the deeper meanings of our favorite stories.